What's going on, everyone? It's your boy James, Grendel's Garage, and we are moving into part 3 of the porting series of the Wildcat 80. We are finally going to go ahead and make some cuts into the cylinder. We're going to attempt to do the mushroom kind of shape pattern that two-stroke porting and carb tuning recommends. The angles are going to be hard. I'm going to have to go extremely slow. I'm still kind of struggling with camera angles and stuff like that, so we'll probably do a little bit of fast forwarding and all that jazz, as we always do, kind of a thing. I'm nervous. I'm straight nervous. This is I've had a lot of fun with this motor, and I don't want to mess it up. So I think I just have that kind of pre-nervous energy kind of a thing going on. But yeah, we're gonna take a whack at it. Got some marks. That's not exactly the shape I want to go with long term. I just wanted to get something for something. We are going to move it a little bit more to the right side than the left side. I didn't realize when I was using that piece of wire to measure that the port actually kind of opens up more on the left side. So left side on our side, not if we were facing on the other side around. So you actually have a little bit bigger gap right there, or at least more material right there, excuse me, than you do on this side. So I try to take that into my head. We'll cut a little bit long on this side and a little short on that side and attempt to try to even it out. This is gonna be tough. It's a lot of hard angles, guys. Again, you never know how small these little suckers are until you're sticking one of those bad daddies in there and trying to take off materials. Haven't used the double-edged cutting tool, so that'll be kind of new to me. We're going to also use some WD-40 cutting, or well, it's WD-40, but really it's a cutting oil, and we're going to still use some of that in the beginning. Well, stay tuned, guys. I got nothing else to say except for we just got to do it. I think I'm just going to kind of prop it up like that and cut into it, and then when it's time to flip it over, we'll just kind of do it the other way and try to figure it out that way. It's going to be interesting. Stay tuned. Man, if I go any further, I might get a little too ambitious. Hopefully you guys can kind of see in there. Maybe see what's going on. Where would that be? Yeah. Alrighty. Alrighty, stay tuned. I'm going to think about this. There's probably be a lot of cuts and stuff like that. I'm not really sure how to do these port videos. They're kind of, this whole thing's kind of new to me, so. Oh, yeah, look at that, baby. Butter. Alrighty, everyone. So I just realized that I cut on the short side towards the short side of the transfer where I had less material, so thank goodness I didn't go back and cut that more because that's not what I wanted to intendedly. That's not what I wanted to do, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Long story short. And so we're going to go ahead and cut on this side. This side's going to be a little bit harder to cut, I think. I don't know. Just in my head, it's going to be a little bit harder. We'll see, though. I got oil dripping. And one thing also, too, I didn't really realize, but when I was grinding, I didn't realize I was actually hitting the edge of that. And that was grinding the side of my cylinder right there on the exhaust exit port. So that's interesting. Something I need to keep in mind. Some longer shanks or some longer bits would be really ideal in this situation. Looking right back that way for me. And yeah, so without further ado, I think we're gonna go ahead and try this. I think this is gonna be a little bit harder on this side, but see how it goes, guys. Alrighty, everyone, we are back from vacuuming, and I'm pretty happy with everything. It's so hard for me to say what's good and what's not good because I don't know. It's all new to me. There's a decent look at our shape. It's a little reflective-y on that right side. Everything turned out pretty well. I do have a little bit of a hang on this side on the top of the exhaust port that I'll need to go ahead and make smooth, a good transition to keep that angle going downwards. But besides that, it worked out pretty well. Just the shape of the tool, I ended up going lower than I wanted to as far as like right there. But that's okay. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm actually going to go ahead and hit it with some water real quick and just kind of reevaluate, make some other cuts, and then hit it with a grinding stone to kind of polish it up a little bit. Sandpaper off camera. And then we'll just recess and see where we're at. Interesting stuff, guys. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. I'll probably have to also take off a little bit of the edge on that bottom part of the mushroom shape. Looks a little sharp, so we'll tackle that. Also, we'll grind a little bit more on this side to help the airflow slightly, kind of like how it is on this side. So, alrighty, guys, I'll probably do that off camera just to save a little bit of time, and then we'll have a big talk or some kind of talk. I don't know what's gonna happen. Alrighty, stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, we are back, and before I went heavy duty with the sanding and a file, I need to go ahead and get the ports nice and chamfered. Gotta put a chamfer onto the edge. And so here we are. I did hit it with a polishing stone or a grinding stone, and pretty good results so far. Pretty happy. Took all the crazy excess edges off or anything like that, and just kind of opened it up a little bit more. Not the actual front of the, or back of the port, I guess, our back, but more in the middle, in the chunky monkey area. And it was just kind of making some shapes that I think Air would like to go. So, without further ado, we're going to attempt to throw on this, these chamfers. Hey, I guess it's one chamfer, right? Chamfer. I don't know. Alright, so this will be the second attempt of ever doing this. I think in the last video I told you guys I ended up going up to a bigger bit on this, so yeah, I don't know. Without further ado, I think we're going to go this way, hit the top, just go whoop, and try to carry it, and then we'll rotate the cylinder. Nerve-wracking. Alright, guys, well, that's pretty basic. I mean, that is, what am I trying to say? It's basic, like you understand what you're doing is basic. You're just wanting to follow the line of where your cut is, but what is not basic is that little sucker wants to go sometimes. I think you did a pretty good job, though. Well, that's what it looks like right now with some powdery dust. Let's go ahead and wipe it off. See if we got some. Oh man, definitely feels a lot smoother as far as like what you want, I guess. It almost feels like your finger just falls right into the port on the other side. Actually, probably has a better chamfer, whatever. Has a better one of those now than it did from the factory. So pretty cool, pretty fun. Getting better. I did get a little bit of scrapey on the top. You can tell. You can see the light doesn't lie. Cool. We'll go ahead and hit some stuff with some files and sandpaper, and then for reals, we'll see you back in a bit. Stay tuned. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what tool I ended up using actually the entire time. Did not use any other bit except for this one. See? Yes. Nope, that's not right. This one right here. Ended up going with this kind of pineapple, smaller shape one. Very, very nice. Here's a bigger, I think that other one I showed you. So on the left is the one that I used, and then on the right is just a little bit bigger one that I thought about using. And I think this would have also worked pretty well, but I just like that, I don't know, the top of it better, a little bit thicker than this would have been a little narrow, if that makes sense. And how's it going, everyone? We are back, and we're gonna go ahead and clean up the exhaust port. I've already used some 400 grit sandpaper and some 1000 grit sandpaper, and the imperfections really came in. You can see some pretty gnarly spots. So we're gonna take a step back, use a big sanding wheel first, then we're gonna go to the small one next. Basically just clean it up like I said. After that, we're going to hit it up with some sandpaper. We'll start the whole process all over from 400, 1000, and then 2500. Alrighty, stay tuned, guys. I don't know. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. We'll see. Alrighty, well, let's get you guys over here. We might as well just make this into one thing since we're doing it. Alright. Get you all situated. I'm going to turn this thing off just in case it does something googly. Alrighty. Well, we got it better. Opened up the sides just a little bit just to try to make it a little bit smoother once we got past the initial opening. By no means perfect, but steps in the right direction in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts. I'm trying to get some, usually it's really reflective in there. Struggling this time. It's gonna be better. When I go to sand it with the other grits, it's gonna be so much easier. Shine, there we go. Shine, shine for me. There we go. Cool, guys. Alrighty, stay tuned for the last little bit. We'll go from there. Alrighty, everyone, we are back. And we completed the sanding process. It is not by any means perfect or beautiful, but it is mine, and I am happy with the work I did so far. Hopefully you guys are getting a good little look into there. Trying to slow it down a little bit so you can see the end result. Man, it's pretty crazy, between 400,000 and then 2,500. Pretty good. Obviously, if I took a little bit more time and all that jazz, I could really get it good. But time is of the essence. Oh, you probably can't see that. I don't know if you can see that in there. So we must forge forward with what we have. I'm very excited. It's a heck of a lot better than what it was, right? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the intake. I did roughen it up quite a bit. Took not that file. What did I take? I took this big old brute in there. Just scraped up the best I could, and then took it off a little bit, just a little bit. Some scrapes with this brown scratchy pad stuff, and I think that should help stir up that gas as it hits up in there with the air all mixed in. Basically agitates it. Atomize it is the technical term, but I think it's like an agitation. It's agitating it. It keeps spinning it together. I think agitates more water. Maybe the other phrase is more gas and air, but that's pretty easy, guys. You don't want to leave any like hanging metal though on there. I went through and cleaned it up really good with a good toothbrush and all that jazz, just to get any flakes of anything that's going to come off later down the road. So I might do it just one or two more times just to make sure. Shooting for deep gouges, going back and forth in my head as the air is flowing through it is going to make it kind of turn it more, versus if you scratch it like straight, if that makes sense. If you scratch it straight, you're just gonna shoot it through, which is fine, but you want to agitate it, basically atomize it, agitate it, whatever. Cool. Let's go ahead and where do we want to go? Let's look down this way so you can kind of see the shape a little bit better. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Hope so. Pretty happy with it. If this does not work, that's 100% on me, guys. I am obviously going to cut different than everyone else. I'm going to cut different than Kevin. I'm going to cut different than two-stroke porting and carb tuning. I'm going to do it different than LA Hover and everyone else out there. My biggest goal was just to see what this shape does and see if I could even do it. And I think I got something similar, not the same, similar. My top of my mushroom shape is much more rounded. If it was more flat, we would actually be able to open up that a little bit more on the sides, and then we could actually add more volume, which would probably give us even more. But I was just trying to do what I could, and that's where we are. If it runs better, great. If it runs the same, well, we had fun. We'll go with something else. Lots of stuff we can do. We still can play with transfers and all that jazz, and we can roughen up that intake port a little bit more as well. But overall, guys, I am pretty darn happy. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions about the process and what you guys do to help other people out too, that always helps. Remember, this is the second cylinder I ever cut into, and I kind of did it back to back. And your guys' time, it's probably going to be a couple episodes or maybe 3 episodes apart, but I did it back to back in reality, in real time, and I learned a lot. And I kind of wish I had another cylinder to cut into before I just made this my second cut, but all right, here we are. This is what everything's led up for. Grendel's Garage started with a goal, and here it is, porting cylinders. Seeing what we can finally do to have some fun. Hopefully not blow up anything, but if we do, we'll learn. Cool, guys. Hope you're enjoying the porting series. Yeah. All right, till next time. This is your boy James, Grendel's Garage. We are out of here. We are out of here.